first part, we are going to talk about guided writing, and then the second part, we are going to talk about extended writing. Okay, so usually for your guided writing part, okay, the first task, you will be asked to either to respond to an email or an informal letter. Okay, I asked my students from the first and the second session of MUET exam for 2021, and they said that the question that they get for guided writing is an email. So you have to be prepared to answer or respond to an email, okay? But there is also a chance they might ask you to respond to a letter, because the first two sessions they have already asked the students to respond to an email. So nanti just be wary of that lah. Okay? And then for your first writing task, it is quite easy. It is called guided writing for a reason. Basically, you are asked to respond using the notes on the right hand side. So the question is going to look something like this. Okay, so that are going to be notes on the right hand side, this one. So you just need to respond to this one. And for each response, there needs to be one paragraph. Oh my god, the wind is really strong outside. Okay, let me just close this. The wind is very strong, and I live on the 15th floor, so it seems like the building is gonna fall. Tapi anyway, coming back to this, so for each note there should be one short paragraph. Okay, and you have to remember you are responding to an email, so that means you are allowed to use informal language, but that does not mean you can use slangs and short forms. For example, you cannot use gonna, you cannot use wanna, you cannot use ttyl, and for okay, you cannot use okay, you have to write ok, o and the letter k, because apparently okay is a short form that stands for something else. You cannot use BRB, you cannot use how's it hanging, or none of that. Okay, so those are what we call colloquial language. Okay, bahasa pasar. You can use informal language, casual language that we use in day-to-day conversation, but you cannot use apa nama ni, colloquial language. Okay, you cannot use bahasa pasar in your email or letter. Okay, for your email, don't forget to have a subject line when you respond, and if it's possible, try and include idioms, expressions, sayings, phrasal verbs whenever you feel necessary, because they when you use phrasal verbs, idioms and all that stuff, they show that you are able to use the language naturally. Okay, I'm not saying that you should have phrasal verbs, idioms and proverbs and all that stuff in each of the paragraphs. I'm saying that you should know when to use them appropriately. Okay, when is the best time to use them, which paragraph requires you to use them, and stuff like that. So when you are able to use these things appropriately, okay, and correctly in your response, the examiner will see that you have the ability to use the language somewhat like a native speaker. Okay, because CEFR, the highest band, it focuses on you having native-like proficiency. So when you show that you are able to use these expressions naturally and appropriately in your email, in your response, it shows that you are reaching that native-like proficiency. Okay, that is the aim that we want to achieve. However, if you feel like, oh, I don't know, I'm not confident, I feel that if I were to use this, I'm going to use it incorrectly and inaccurately, it's okay. Okay, you don't have to use it, because for as long as you fulfill the task, for as long as whatever it is that you want to say can be understood, is comprehensible, you can still get marks. It's just that the difference between those who get higher bands and those who get mid band and low band is the use of language that is often used by native speakers of English. Okay? Okay ke?
Okay.
Okay.
Noted.
Noted. Okay. Alright, so this is an example of a question, okay, for your guided writing. Okay, so you have 4 paragraphs here. They are very short, and then you have the word here. So basically like this one, right? So how have you been? I feel very sad that I could not join the camp. How was it? So you have to answer by including this word right here. So you have to say, great. I feel amazing. I feel ecstatic. Apa-apalah, whatever it is that you can think of. And then, I feel very sad that I could not join the camp. How was it? And then you explain a bit lah about the camp. Okay? By right, guided writing should be very short. Okay? Your response should be around 100 to 200 words. Okay? It should be really short. No, don't go beyond, don't go up to 200. Maybe 100 to 150. That should be okay. Alright? And then the second paragraph, I heard that there were lots of fun things to do at the camp. What was your favorite activity during the camp? So here you have the word describe. So basically what you need to do is you need to describe your favorite activity during the camp. Okay? That's what you need to do. And then the third paragraph, I also heard campers had to cook their own food. Did you like it? So you will start by saying no. You can include a phrase in between. Like for example, you can say no, I did not like it because, or you can simply go straight to the point by saying no because. Okay, either one is fine. Alright, for as long as you include this phrase right here in your answer, it should be okay. Alright, and then last one, I too heard that the school is planning another camp soon and I want to join it. Would you like to join me? So, would you like to join or not? So, it's up to you. Tell Prada. If you want to join, you say yes. If you don't want to join, you will say no lah. And then you give your reason why. And by the way, who names their kids Prada? Kesian nanti kena bully budak ni. Okay. Alright, and for guided writing, the word count should be at least 100 words. Okay, so the minimum word count is 100 words. Okay, and for informal letter, don't forget, okay, you start with your own address on top, on the right hand side, and then the date, and don't forget to sign off at the end of your letter. Okay, like your email, you cannot use slang like how's it hanging, what you doing, none of that. You cannot use short forms like gonna, wanna, because those are considered as grammatical errors. You cannot also say IMMA. You cannot use any of that in your letter or email. Okay, so because those are considered as a colloquial language, bahasa pasar. Sama lah macam kita tak boleh guna dorang dalam bahasa Melayu, right? We cannot use dorang, we cannot use korang, kita orang pun tak boleh. Okay, you have to use kami, mereka, stuff like that. Alright, and use linkers and vary your sentence structure. Okay, use linkers as in, for example, you can use besides, otherwise, in addition, plus, and all that stuff. Try and include them in your guided writing. And number 2, vary your sentence structure. For example, maybe in some sentence you can have simple sentence. Some sentences can be a combination of compound sentences and complex sentences. So play around with the sentences. For example, maybe one sentence could just be great. Okay, so that's one word. And then you can have another sentence that is a compound sentence. The reason why I said it's great is because this and this. Okay, that is considered as a compound sentence. So play around with your sentence structure. And last one, try and include words that are considered as low frequency words. Low frequency words means words that we don't normally use in a day-to-day conversation. Okay, for example, instead of saying, oh, I'm happy and excited, you can say, I'm ecstatic. Oh, okay, I'm feeling ecstatic, or I'm feeling euphoric. Instead of saying this thing is huge, you can say this thing is gigantic, this thing is ginormous, something like that. Okay, you don't necessarily have to use low frequency words, all of them in one sentence and throughout the response. Okay, you can just use it. You can use the low frequency words here and there, mungkin sekejap kat sini, sekejap kat sana. Okay, and by the way, low frequency words, when you use them, you have to make sure that the words are appropriate according to the context. Okay, you have to make sure that the words are accurate, the words actually fit the context that you are writing about. And right now, we are not focusing on your ability to use bombastic words as what students like to use. Okay, the word bombastic words. The focus is you using the bombastic words correctly and in a correct context. Okay, that is the focus that we want to focus on. Alright? Okay, this is for the letter. Okay, like I said earlier, don't forget you need to add your own address and the date that you want to respond to the letter. You are responding to the letter. Okay, and add salutation at the beginning. Okay, and last one, add your name. It could be your friend, it could be sincerely, it could be love, anything lah, because it's an informal letter. Okay, if it's a formal letter, then the signing off is different, a bit different. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Don't worry, I'm gonna send this to you, okay, so that you can have a look at them at your own time. Okay, so these are the tips for higher band. If you plan to achieve band 4 and above, so these are the things that you can include. Okay, to be honest, I have already talked about this earlier. Like earlier I said, you can include wide choice of vocabulary. Okay, and then use variety of sentences, simple, compound and complex. Include idioms and proverbs whenever appropriate. Okay, choose words that are well chosen. Maksudnya words that do belong in that context and they are high in precision. Okay, and last one, the organization should be clear and easy to follow. Organization, I think this is very easy for you to achieve, because when you respond, you just need to separate the response according to the notes on the right hand side. So you just have to remember, for each note there should be one paragraph. Okay, so if there are 4 notes, there should be 4 different paragraphs. Okay, and that is how you achieve a higher band in your writing paper, especially for your guided writing. Okay, any question before we proceed?